I've been at National Wildlife Federation for, okay, that's fine. Can you get the internet set up on there? I've been at National Wildlife Federation for a little over a year now on their campus ecology team. And as Eban said, my main job is to do sort of all of our news and web and online stuff. So that means I write articles or I edit articles, we do blogs, social media stuff like Facebook and Twitter and all of that, and basically trying to make sure that people are getting the information they need. The newsletter, which is called Climate EDU, is really directed towards faculty, staff, and students, trying to cover the best practices in campus greening and cover what's going on in legislation for colleges and what's going on sort of on the student side as well. And it's kind of a new experiment. We started in August, and we're still figuring out what is most useful to people, what do they want to read, what do faculty want to know about, do we need 12 articles on how to do a climate action plan, or are people more interested in renewable energy, or et cetera, et cetera. And it's actually been this really exciting, illuminating process for us. It works really well with the other things that we're doing, which are we have field coordinators who go out to campuses, one of whom actually has done a lot of really good work with historically black colleges and universities. We try to work with tribal universities, with community colleges, all of those sorts of things. And then we have other programs which you may have heard of. Chill Out, which is a competition. We have a fellows opportunity for students to do sort of campus greening projects, all these kinds of things. And because our focus is so strongly on lowering the campus footprint and getting students engaged in climate action, that's really why we got so involved with the teach-in. Julian Canary is the director of the campus program and couldn't be here, unfortunately, but she wanted me to emphasize how much we support Eban's work and how important we think it is that we're sort of talking outside of the environmental movement. An economics professor, being able to talk to professors who we know students often think of as gatekeepers, as sort of importers of the most important information. And we really, really support a lot of this work that's happening because for the National Wildlife Federation, we tend to not think of this in terms of morality. Fighting climate change is not an issue of necessarily right or wrong so much as it is an issue of risk. To protect the ecosystems, to protect wildlife, and eventually to protect our own human habitat. These are things that are necessary to happen. We really are so proud to have been involved with the teach-in. So to tell you a little bit more about what we actually did for the teach-in, we sort of leveraged all these networks that I mentioned to you. The field team was going out onto campuses, trying to get students to work on these projects. We coordinated a little bit with the production of our Chill Out broadcast. Our film crew did a lot of the production, actually, for the National Teach-In. If you watch that webcast, a lot of that filming, if not maybe all of it, was done by National Wildlife Federation's film team. We're very lucky to have those resources. It makes things like Chill Out and the Teach-In possible for us. And so as we were sort of preparing for all of this, we were using all of these vehicles. We were using our blog, we were using Climate EDU, we were using our field coordinators who were out in their networks, we were getting our fellows who are all on campuses to go out and talk to people, to plan events, to organize around it, especially as a lead into Power Shift, which is sort of another great partnership to be able to work with the Energy Action Coalition and gear up into that and use the teach-in as this really effective sort of tool for Power Shift, which was really sort of a once in a lifetime event in a lot of ways. And our sort of feeling moving forward into the future is that there are so many of these outlets. There's campus ecology, there's the teach-in, there's the Energy Action Coalition, there's the Campus Climate Challenge, there's the Student Perks, there's, it's becoming a very crowded field, and we love that. But I think the challenge that we see is finding better ways to collaborate between those, finding better ways to not be redundant, and finding ways to work together that are, that's fine, don't worry about it, that are really useful and that are really effective. So even you asked kind of what we see for the future. When we were discussing and sort of debriefing the teach-in, what seemed like the most valuable piece of it to us was this video hookup to Congress. We have a lot of people on the Hill. We have a lot of advocates, or advocacy people, I should say, who are on the Hill every day, who are talking to representatives. And the feedback we got from them was that senators were so excited. They didn't want to leave. They kind of grumbled about having to come in and sit at the screen and talk to people, and they didn't think it would work, and they didn't think it was going to be useful. But then, when that half hour, whatever, amount of time was over, they wanted to stay and keep talking. And there was something about the enthusiasm that comes from a campus that was really, really exciting to them, and that they raved about it. They were so excited. They were so happy. And I think this idea of leveraging that and not just saying, oh, well, let's just produce another webcast that we're going to film and we're going to send out, we're going to try to get people to watch it, but to really sort of put the responsibility back on the citizens, to us is so crucial and such an element that we could really exploit here. And maybe exploit's the wrong word, but just a missed opportunity, I guess I should say. So that's really where we're excited to support this and excited to move forward with that and use all of these other projects, which I can't actually show you right now. It seems we don't have internet, but I can show you later if you want. To be able to take all of this momentum that we've gathered and be able to use it to hook people in. As far as how to do these video letters, to me it seems like, and having been a student only a few years ago, to me it seems like the potential for this comes from giving students the ability to have fun with it, to sort of art direct, rather than saying, oh, just here's a booth, stand in here, and here's a statement for you to read. Give them a chance to say personally why these things matter to them. That process of sort of talking through your own motivations and your own ideals is valuable not only to them, but I think also to the people the people we need to do things for us, the Congress people that we're asking. So that would be my sense, is find ways to make this a thing where students are excited, where they want to create a storyline, in 2 or 3 minutes, and maybe what it takes is some kind of person on each campus or some kind of little how-to video saying, here are things that work, here are things that don't work, now go have fun with it and send it back. And we were talking yesterday about finding music festivals, bringing some video cameras to music festivals and handing them out to students or to young people in general, taking them to campus, having a big, day event, say, hey, come, we're going to have organic food and we're going to garden a little bit and we're going to make video letters to Congress. And just making it sort of this thing to organize around the way we did with the teach-in.